Find the length of the arc of a circle of radius 8 yards subtended by a central angle of 3 pi over 4 radians. S is equal to R times theta. So S, which is the arc length, will be equal to the radius, 8 yards, multiplied by the central angle, theta, which is 3 pi over 4. So it's going to be equal to 8 divided by 4 is 2, so it's going to be 6 pi yard. For number 2, let's see. S is equal to R theta. The central angle is 4.35 and the arc length is 17, so we need to look for the radius. So first what we're going to do is S is 17 feet is equal to R that we're looking for multiplied by the central angle, and the central angle is 4.35, so 4.35 R. So R will be 17 divided by 4.35. We divide both sides by 4.35 and we'll just do it with a calculator and round it to the nearest 10th foot. 17 divided by 4.35 and 3.908, so it's 3.9 approximately. For number 3, they asking for the central angle given the radius and the arc length. So arc length is equal to the radius times the central angle, S equal to R times theta. The arc length is 44, so 44 yards is equal to, the radius is 8, so it's 8 yards multiplied by theta, central angle. So theta is equal to 44 divided by 8, which is 5.5. So it's 5.5 radians. Since the arc length is equal to R theta and circumference is equal to 2 pi R, for a full revolution, 2 pi R, which is the arc length, the circumference, is equal to R theta. Divide both sides by R theta is equal to 2 pi radians. So 360 is 2 pi radians. Divide by 2, 180 is pi radians. From the latter equation, we obtain 1 degree is pi 180 radians, and 1 radians is 180 over pi. Now, for 60 degrees, to convert in radians, it's going to be 60 multiplied by pi over 180 radians. 60 goes into itself once, into 183 times. So it's equal to pi over 3 radians when we cross cancel. 0 degrees times pi over 180 degrees. 0 degree is equal to 0 radian. 135 degrees is equal to 135 multiplied by pi over 180. Now 135, the greatest common factor between 135 and 180 will be, for 135 is 5 times 27, which is 3 times 3 times 3. For 180, it'll be 5 times 3 times 3 times 2 times 2. So the GCF is 5 times 3 times 3, which is 45. 135 divided by 45 will be 3. And 180 divided by 45 will be 4. So it's 3 pi over 4. 330 will be 330 times pi over 180. Cancel the zeros. 33 and 18. 33 is 3 times 11, and 18 is 3 times 6. The answer is 11 pi over 6. Negative 90 degrees times pi over 180 degrees. After we cancel the zeros, we can divide by 9. 9 goes into negative 9, negative 1 times, and into 18 2 times. Negative pi over 2. 3,000 degrees multiplied by pi over 180. We cancel the zeros. It's 300 divided by 18. 6 times 50, 300. 50 pi. And 6 times 3, 18. Convert each measure to degrees. Pi over 6. To convert pi over 6, we will multiply pi over 6 by 180 degrees over pi. Pi will cancel each other, and 180, 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 6 divided by itself is 1. 180 divided by 6 is 30 degrees. 7 pi over 6 will be multiplied by 180 degrees over pi. Once again, pi will cancel itself. And 180 divided by 6 will be 30. So it'll be 7 over 1 times 30 over 1. And 3 times 7 is 21. The answer is 210. 3 pi over 2 multiplied by 180 over pi. After canceling pi, 180 divided by 2 will be 90 degrees. So it's 3 over 1 times 90 over 1. 3 times 9, 27. So 3 times 90, 270 degrees. 10 pi over 3 multiplied by 180 over pi. 180 divided by 3 will be 60. And 10 times 60, 10 over 1 times 60 over 1, 600 degrees. negative 8 pi over 9 multiplied by 180 over pi. 180 divided by 9 will be 20. So it's going to be negative 8 over 1 times 20 over 1. And 8 times 20 will be 160. So it's negative. The answer is negative 160 degrees. Negative pi over 4 multiplied by 180 over pi. Pi will cancel each other, and 180 divided by 4 will be 45. So it's negative 45 degrees.